Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Web Dev. In this video, we will learn about the another two restart policies, that is on failure and also unless stopped. So we have learned about the never restart policy and also the always restart policy. Also we have learned it. So in the previous video. So the remaining two things left out is the on failure maximum retries and also the another one is unless stopped. So let's try to check the first one, that is nothing but on failure max tries. So here what I will try to do is, let's try to check the containers whether we have any containers left out or not. So right now we don't have any containers. So let's try to create a container. Docker container, run -d and hyphen name nginx failure. So just I am creating the name, that one, and I am using the restart policy on failure. Okay, the on failure, and the maximum retrace is 3. So you need to mention it like this. You need to give the image name. So let's try to create it. Automatically the container has been created. So now when will this container will be restarted? For example, let's say that let's try to check the container. So Docker container, what is the PS, right? So now the what I want to do is the container is up. Now let's try to stop this container. Docker container stop nginx failure. So now I have stopped this container. Now if you want to check the status of this one, so it is stopped. So if you try to check, that is exited. So now you need to understand that this is exited with the status code of 0. So on failure, when the container will try to restart, so whenever the container has been exited with a status code greater than 0. Now here I have manually stopped it. So now let's try to see whether it will be starting or not. So now here if let's try to check it. Sudo systemctl docker restart. Restart Docker. So I am restarting the Docker daemon. So let's try to restart the Docker daemon. So test 1 2 3 4. So now let's see, I have restarted the Docker. Now let's see that whether it will be started or not. So still it is not started. Why? Because so here when you have used this restart policy on failure, so if you have exited with a status code of 0 means it will not be started. So but if you start the container, for example, let's say the Docker container, and I will try to create another one. So Docker container run -d hyphen name nginx never. So I will try to use the nginx never. So with a no never restart policy, and I will give the container nginx. If I doesn't mention anything, means the restart policy is never only. So I have created another one. Now let's try to check the Docker status of this one. So one is up and running, and I will try to start this another one also. Docker container start the nginx failure. So that's the, so these are the two things. Now if you try to check the status, both the containers are running. Now what I will try to do it is, so I will try to stop this container with an exit status greater than 0. So for this one, what we can check it is Docker container inspect, okay, inspect the nginx never. So I will try to stop this one, and I will use the grep status and PID. I want to get the PID of this one. So 3331 is the process ID that has been created for the container. So I will try to stop it. Sudo kill -9 and 3331. So I have killed that one. Now if you try to check the status of this one, so it has been exited with the status code of 137, and now it has been exited. So that means the container is not running. As this container has a restart policy, that is nothing but never restart policy, so the container will not restart again. So I will try to do the same thing for this one nginx failure, but this one is having a on failure restart policy. So that means if the container has been stopped by any means, so other than 0 means, then immediately the container will try to restart. That also maximum tries it will try to give it is the 3 times. So let's try to kill that one also. So here you will have nginx failure. So I want to get that I want to get the process ID is 3463. So let's try to kill that one. Oh, sorry. So where is it? Yeah, 3463, right? 3463. So I have killed it. Now let's try to check the status for this one. So now if you try to check the status for this one, so previously the container started about a minute ago, but still immediately the container has been started up 2 seconds ago. It has immediately started. So that means whenever it has been exited with some status code greater than 0 means, so immediately the container will start again. So that is the nothing but Nginx unless on failure. So on failure restart policy parameter is nothing but whenever the container has been stopped with an exit code status code greater than 0 means immediately when the daemon restarts or the anything. So anything means it will be restarted. So it will be restarted, not the daemon restart also. It will be restarted immediately. It will try to check it. If you manually stop that one means, so the container is not responsible. So the restart policy is not responsible for that one. So this is about the on failure. So now let's try to learn about the another one, that is nothing but unless stopped. So this one I have already told in our previous video when we are learning about the theoretical part on the restart policy, that always and the always and the unless stop both are one and the same only, but a slight difference is there, where always when you try to stop the container manually, it will restart it again when the daemon restarts or it will restart it again. But here when you try to stop it manually means then it will not be restarted, but for any case if it has been stopped means it will restart. So I will try to show you this one. So now I will delete this one. So I will keep this nginx-never and nginx-failure I will delete it so that we can have a clear understanding about this one. So that one is up and running, right? Docker container stop nginx-failure. So I have stopped it. Docker container rm nginx-failure. So I want to remove this one. So I have deleted it. So now I want to create two containers. That is nothing but docker container run -d -name nginx-always. So I want to have a restart policy of always, and I will have this one, right? So now from the nginx image I want to create it. So now I have created it, and again I want to create another container that is nothing but unless stop. So that means it is nothing but stopped. I will do it, and here it is an unless stop. Unless stop. Okay. So this is the restart policy. Now let's try to create it. So now both are created. So now if I try to check the status for this one, so now 3 of them are there, and I will try to start this one also. Docker container start nginx-never. So I have started this container also. Now if I try to check the status for this one, all the 3 containers are running. Are started and running actually, and nginx-stop is having the restart policy of unless stop, and always has a restart policy of always, and nginx-never has the restart policy of never. Now by some means I have stopped these 3 dockers. Okay, so with a manually. So docker container stop nginx-never nginx-stop nginx-always. So I am stopping all the 3 containers. All the 3 containers has been stopped. Now if you try to check, all the 3 containers has been stopped manually. Now what I will try to do, I will try to restart the daemon. So if I try to restart the daemon, so which container will be started automatically? So as usual, nginx-always will be started automatically. Why? Because it will start. So now if I try to run, so here I will do sudo systemctl restart the docker. So I am restarting the docker daemon. So when the docker daemon has been started, if you try to check it here, see, so nginx-always has been started automatically. Why? Because when I restarted the docker daemon, so if you can reboot it also, not a problem. Instead of rebooting it, I am restarting the docker daemon. So now nginx-always automatically started, but nginx-never or nginx-stopped has not been started. So nginx-stopped will be started only when the status code is when it is exited other than 0. So other than 0 it is started means then it will be restarted. So that is the main difference for this one. So now let's try to start it. Docker container start nginx -stop and nginx -never. Okay. So now I am starting the containers again. So if you try to check the status, all the things are running. So what I will do is I will reboot the system. So that means I am shutting down the Docker. So now let's try to see. So now all the containers will be stopped. So let's try to see what will happen. So now the container has been restarted. So let's see what will happen. So it will take some time to restart the server. Why? Because so here if you try to check my thing, so it is restarting again. So it will take some time. Let it take some time. Yeah, it is starting. Let's go to the mobile external, and here I am closing it, this one, and I am again trying to restart the session. Maybe, hopefully, I think maybe I will get it, or otherwise we'll try to reconnect it again. It's trying to connect, but still it is running, right? So that is the reason it is not able to connect. Let's try to close this one automatically. I want to close the following device anyway, yes. So let's try to open it again. Now maybe this time it will be connected. So whether the Docker, yeah, now this time, yeah, this one is connected. Fine, right? So now let's try to check it. Now if I want to check the container status for this one, see, so what it is having, nginx -stop is running and nginx -always is also running, but nginx never will not start again. nginx -stop, I told you, right? So whenever it has been whenever it has been exited by any reason, if it doesn't other than manually stopping, means that container will restart again. Nginx -always means, so whenever you do it, automatically when the Docker daemon restarts or anything, it will automatically start. So this is the difference between these all the restart policy. Now we have learned the 4 restart policies. The difference, one is nothing but never, and the another one is always, and another one is on failure max retries, and the last one is the unless stop. So these are the different types of restart policies available in the Docker engine. And I want to tell you some important points to remember. So before closing of the session, so if you create a container for some reason, so you have, for example, let's say that you have created a container, and for some reason the container is going on restarting, so it doesn't get started. So it is container is starting and it is restarting, so going on restarting. Then if you apply a restart policy to that particular container, means, so you have, when you try to update restart policy for that container, means then it will not be applied to the container. Why? Because so the container is going on restarting. So you need to understand that the container has to be up and running for at least 10 seconds. So which we have discussed it in our earlier videos. So if you want a restart policy to be applied to a particular container, means the container has to be up and running at least 10 seconds. So then only the restart policy will be taken into effect. So why? Because the Docker daemon, after container start, then the Docker daemon tries to monitor the restart policy of that container. After the container starting only, it will try to be monitoring. So if you have manually stopped a container, restart policy will be ignored and it will be applied when your daemon is restarted. So for any restart policy, you have stopped your container manually, means just like the nginx always also. So when your daemon is restarted or your system is restarted, then only the restart policy will be applied. And the last point which you need to remember is that the restart policy will be available only for the Docker engine. It will be not available for the Docker Swarm, which is another tool for the Docker community. So this restart policy is exclusively available. This option is available only for the Docker engine in the Docker community. So this is all about the container restart policy. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.